Welcome to a mini review of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling, and the wacky part of this title is going to showcase itself today because we are doing a review of the Reverse Battle Royale for the Fight for the Right Tournament 2007 edition. Oh boy. If there isn't a more screwy concept than this tournament, I don't know what is. There's been a lot of screwy tournaments over the years. A lot of bad ideas. The TNA one for 2007 probably is their highlight, or in this case, lowlight of the tournament concept. You see, the first stage of this event occurred at Bound for Glory on October 14th, 2007. A day that will live in infamy. Because stage 1 was a reverse battle royale. Not a regular battle royale, a reverse battle royale. Where people have to punch at each other for 15 minutes and slowly climb the ropes and get over the top of the rope to qualify for an 8-person battle royale. And the suspension of disbelief is immediately broken, or squashed in this case, by Junior Fato, the biggest guy in this 16-person battle royale. He simply gingerly walks over the top rope and proceeds to get in the ring. The first person in this battle royale that gets in is the 450-pound fat guy. Immediately, the suspension, like I said, of disbelief is broken. Next up are the final 7 individuals. James Storm, Lance Hoyt, Kaz, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Robert Roode, and Eric Young. Okay, so the elimination order. James Storm is eliminated by Junior Fato. Everybody eliminates Junior Fato. Chris Sabin is eliminated, Kaz is eliminated, Lance Hoyt is eliminated, and Alex Shelley is eliminated, until it's down to just 2 individuals, Eric Young and Robert Roode. Eric Young wins the one-on-one match with Robert Roode. However, and this is where the screwiness lies, this was only stage 1. Apparently, Eric Young won the number 1 qualifying seed for this tournament, not the number 1 contendership for the TNA World Heavyweight title. Yeah. Couldn't have it just been an 8-person tournament where Eric Young goes on to the finals against Robert Roode, and Eric Young in a fiery babyface comeback wins against Robert Roode and becomes the number 1 contender for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship? No, they had to overcomplicate it by stage 2 of this match, which is a single elimination tournament. And the wackiness doesn't end here, folks. Oh no, the wackiness doesn't end here at all. Eric Young, our number 1 seed, is eliminated in the quarterfinals by James Storm. The first person eliminated in the Battle Royale beats Eric Young. The number 5 seed, Kaz, pins Lance Hoyt at 4 minutes and 6 seconds, advancing to the semifinals. The other half of the bracket is where the screwiness, or wackiness in this case, more wackiness ensues when Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin match ended in a no contest after Team 3D interfered in their match. For some reason. Apparently because they were feuding with Team 3D at the time. Neither qualified, and the opening was filled by Christian Cage by defeating Samoa Joe. So let me get this straight. You have 2 people in this tournament that are not in the reverse battle royale at all, competing for the spot because a tag team interfered with another tag team's contest. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If it was a match, if you wanted to have an interference in this particular match, have Team 3D fight for the spot for the World Heavyweight Championship instead of Christian Cage, who has nothing to do with this whatsoever. On the other side of the bracket, Robert Roode, the 2 seed, loses to Junior Fato, the fat guy, in this tournament, because apparently Junior Fato, I guess, is important, I guess? Not Robert Roode? Because Robert Roode and Eric Young, they were the 2 guys that qualified in the finals. Shouldn't they be the ones getting into this finals of the tournament? No, apparently the fat guy it has more importance than Robert Roode at this point. However, Junior Fato doesn't make it to the semifinals. So one of the people eliminated in the reverse battle royale, Chris Harris, is in the semifinals against Christian Cage, and Christian Cage wins against Chris Harris. Why? Why do you have 2 people in the semifinals of this tournament that weren't even a part of the reverse battle royale? Well, one of them was, but he was eliminated in the reverse battle royale. And you have a guy who wasn't even in the reverse battle royale, and Christian Cage. Anyway, Kaz beats James Storm, and then he takes on Christian Cage and wins. But no, there's more screwiness in store for this match. The finals were originally held on November 8, with Cage pinning Kaz. Due to interference in the match, the original decision was thrown out and made for a ladder match in Genesis, the pay-per-view in January. Kaz received a title shot on the November 15th edition of TNA Impact, which he lost. Okay, Kazarian, Kaz, receives a title shot November 15th. Apparently, he lost this decision, and instead is in a feud with Christian Cage, which he wins. I guess. Let me check. But this is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen. You have multiple matches that have been interference heavy in this entire match. You have Junior Fato going over Robert Roode, despite the fact he's only been with the company for about 2 or 3 weeks. And you have Kaz and Christian Cage in the finals. One of them wasn't even in the reverse battle royale. The other was eliminated in the battle royale. Why couldn't this just been a singles match in the final for Eric Young and Robert Roode? Instead, you had to make this really wacky single elimination tournament with more interference in it than people shopping at Christmas for that toy of the season, or a shoe shop, or people fighting over the last Doritos in a vending machine. This is just the most unsound tournament that I have ever heard of in my entire life. There was absolutely no need whatsoever for the reverse battle royale in the first place. The battle royale itself was fine. You could have had it for like the X Division belt, or any of the other belts in TNA at the time. And why couldn't this just been, once again, a singles match between, in the final, Eric Young, Robert Roode. Eric Young goes over Robert Roode because Robert Roode is the heel in this point. And Eric Young goes on to compete for the World Heavyweight Championship at Genesis. That seems like a pretty simple idea. Instead of having Eric Young go through 50,000 different gimmicks, serious Eric Young, wacky Eric Young, afraid of his own pyro Eric Young, super Eric. Instead of all that, you could have just, I don't know, put him in as the plucky babyface contender for the TNA World Heavyweight title at Genesis, as I've said before. That's a story. Underdog versus the big bad champion. That's a story. That's a PvP headliner. I know Eric Young doesn't necessarily, in most people's eyes, has the look. I don't care. It's a great underdog story. And yet instead you have this reverse battle royale that doesn't make any sense. You have a single elimination tournament, which is the second stage, that doesn't make any sense. This whole entire tournament should just have been an 8-person elimination tournament. There's absolutely no need, once again, for a reverse battle royale. So, yeah. It's completely insane. So, anyway, after covering this reverse battle royale traumatizing experience all in all, it gives you an insight as to, yes, there were a lot more problems in TNA than before Hogan and Bischoff's era. Lots and lots of problems. I'm 14 Fitzpatrick, and I'm signing off. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.